coding. Yeah, so in this problem, the very first step is to find a number for the variable w that makes denominator to be 0. Okay, so why? Because we have to exclude those numbers from the solution set. Okay, so those number cannot be solutions. Why? Because those number makes denominator to be 0. So step 1, right? Excuse me. So we solve the w minus 3 equals 0. Okay, and then we have to solve 2w minus 6 equals 0. But actually, 2w minus 6, if you factor 2w minus 6, that's going to be 2 times w minus 3, right? So solving 2w minus 6 equals 0 is nothing but solving 2 times w minus 3 equals 0. And then when you divide by 2 on both sides, then you're going to get w minus 3 equals 0 over 2 is a 0, right? So actually, we just solved the w3 minus equals 0. That's it, okay? So you solve this one, then w equals 3, right? So we got it. So what I did in step 1, I found a number, or depending on problem numbers, a number for w that makes denominator to be 0. Okay, keep in mind this. So here, from step 1, what we got it is this. W cannot be 3. Keep in mind this. W cannot be 3. So in a step 2, all right. Oops. So step 2, step 2. So we're gonna find out what LCD, right? Least common denominator. So the LCD gonna be what? 2 times, 2w minus 6. That's gonna be LCD. So, but you may wonder that how can you find out the least common denominator of rational expression, not just numbers? I'm sure that you learn in basic algebra, but because this course assumes that you guys the master basic algebra. But let me go over again. So in this case, we're gonna find out the factors, all of factors for each denominators. So what I'm doing is to find out LCD of w minus 3, 2w minus 6, and 2w minus 6, okay? But so 1 over w minus 3 minus 1 over 2w minus 6. By the way, we don't have to consider the right-hand side, right? Because the right-hand side, denominator 2w minus 6, this is exactly the same as what 2w minus 6 in the second term in the left-hand side. So let me ignore the rational expression. And then let's find out factors of w minus 3. That's going to be just 1 and w minus 3, right? Then do 2w minus 6. We already figured out that 2w minus 6 is nothing but what? 2 times w minus 3. So, you see that here. Yeah. So 2 and w minus 3, right? So now what? We're gonna multiply all of distinct factors. Okay, 1 times w minus 3 times 2. And then we're not gonna multiply w minus 3 again because we already did here. So 2 times w minus 3 gonna be least common denominator, LCD. So what I'm going to do, we're gonna multiply by the LCD on every single term in the equations, okay? I told you there are several ways. You may just wonder that why don't you, why don't we just make the all denominator to the LCD? Yeah, that's the one of the ways, okay? But I'm gonna multiply every single terms by the LCD, which is 2 times w minus 3. So 2 times w minus 3 times, let's see, okay, 1 over w minus 3 minus 1 over 2w minus 6 is equal to, okay, give me a second. So then what happens? So the first term, you see that denominator w minus 3 will be canceled that out with the w minus 3, right? So we're gonna get 2. The minus, and then 2 times w minus 3 times the second term in the left hand side gonna be just 1, right? Is equal to right hand side gonna be 1. So finally we got 1 is equal to 1. Right. So this is true for any choice of w except for 3. Okay. So think about this. We just start we start from that equation, and then we found LCD and then multiply LCD every single term, and that end up with 1 equals 1. This is true, right? So this equation is true for any choice of w except for 3. Because why w cannot be a solution? Because what? The 3 makes denominator to be 0. Because yeah, so simply just plug in 3 into right here. What happened? We're gonna get 1 over 0. In mathematics, a number over 0 is not defined. It should not happen. So the answer is what? We can say that the solution set. Yeah. So let me go back to the the uh, the homework, the screen. So right here. So what is the solution set? So the solution set is see that here that the curly parenthesis, that is the set notation. Okay, we call this one as a curly parenthesis, meaning that the set of w and the vertical bar. You see that the vertical bar means the vertical bar means the such that. So the set of all of w's such that w is not equal to 3. Okay, 3. Okay, so now that is the one of the problems in homework. Okay, so let's see one more problems. Okay. Oh, yeah. So there's the second sub question. Okay, so classify the equation. So what? This equation is identity, right? Identity. Why? Even though w cannot be 3, w can be can be any real number except for just one number, right? So there is infinity many solutions. So next problems. Let me solve the one more problems involving absolute value. So yeah, because okay, let's see. This is question number what? A second. Question number 10. Okay. So solve the following absolute value equation. So absolute value of x minus 7 equals 0. All right. So when you solve the linear equation involving absolute value, you have to apply definition of absolute value. Okay. So give me a second. So here. So now what? So let me copy the problem. Okay. X minus 7 is equal to 0. So give me a second. Yeah. All right. So x minus 7 equals 0. So what's the definition of absolute value? Let me remind of that. So absolute value of any algebraic expression, I told you this x doesn't mean a single variable x. In the definition of absolute value, the x represent any algebraic expression. Okay, so in this particular problems, x minus 7, in the definition, x means the x minus 7 in this particular problems. So this one can be what? This is equal to x or negative x, depending on sign of x. Okay, if x is greater than or equal to 0, if x is less than 0. Okay, so I told you don't have to take care of this this term. Okay, so what you have to apply is this part. So this equation, going back to problems, x minus absolute value of x minus 7 can be just x minus 7 or minus x minus 7. right? Depending on the sign of x minus 7. So if x minus 7 is greater or equal to 0, or if x minus 7 is less than 0, you don't have to figure out what x values makes that unequal to true or that unequal to true. You don't have to think about this. So the thing is this equation can be transformed to x minus 7 equals 0, or minus x minus 7 is equal to 0. Okay, so now then we solve two equations. So x equals 7 is not a big deal, right? So and then let me multiply by -1, okay, to get rid of negative sign in the second equation, because I'm going to multiply by -1 on both sides to get rid of negative sign. So we're going to get x minus 7 is equal to -0, but -0 is nothing but 0. So x is equal to 7 right here. Okay. So now then what? We both guys have the same equation, the same number, right? Answers. So this equation has one solution. So this equation is a conditional equation. But yes, but sometimes
You did that wrong.
If you
You can't distribute the negative to both sides. You only can distribute to the one side technically.
if you distribute
of
it
this
to
one here.
7, doesn't the
Yeah.
7 turn positive?
Okay, so -1 times negative x minus 7 is equal to 0 times -1, right? I didn't distribute negative sign. I did not distribute negative sign. I want to get rid of negative sign. To get rid of sign, it means that to make a negative sign to positive sign, I have to multiply -1 on both sides. So -1 times negative is positive. So we got the x minus 7 on the left hand side. And the right hand side, 0 times -1 is 0. All right, so the x equals 7, x equals 7. So we got two same numbers, right? So this equation has one solution. So the answer is what? The solution set is curly parenthesis to 7. Okay. So normally when you when you solve the linear equation involving absolute value, and then first step is to isolate the absolute value term. But this problem's absolute value term is already isolated, right? So you didn't have to try to isolate absolute value term. And then once you isolate absolute value term, something here, okay? So and then is equal to you're gonna get the number, right? So certain number. If that number is negative, then the solution gonna be empty set. Okay. If this is, for example, you just isolate the absolute term, and then you got, for example, -5. Then what? The solution set is empty set. It means that this equation does not have a solution. Why? Because the absolute value always return positive number. Okay. So keep in mind this. Since the absolute value return always positive number, so once you got the negative number on the right hand side, then what the solution? This equation doesn't have solution. All right, so now and then what? For this particular problem, back to here, the reason that we got the just only one solution, then the because of right hand side is 0. Okay, think about this. To get 0, x must be 7. Is there any other number for x so that the absolute value returns 0? No, 7 is the only number for x, making x minus 7 equals 0, right? So that's why we got just one number. So then we can formalize, this pattern. So absolute value here and then equals 0, and the absolute value is equals a positive number. You don't have to memorize this, but absolute value is equal to negative. Okay, so once you isolate the absolute values terms, and the right hand side is 0, then you're going to get only one solution. There will be only one solution. One solution. Okay. positive, you're going to get 2 solutions. Okay, negative, 0 solution. I mean, no solutions. Okay. So now, so the answer is what? The solution set is 7, is right? So now, back to the, give me a second. Yeah, in the 1.3, yeah, back to 1.3. So I'm gonna do the, okay, here. So now I'm gonna cover the Cartesian coordinate system. Okay, I mean 1.3 is about the graphing. I mean, how to express a point or line or a graph. Not all of a graph, but some specific graph, especially circle in mathematics. So first, we're going to learn how to express the point in mathematics. Okay, so all right. So the first objective, Cartesian coordinate system. Okay, see, is right here, Cartesian coordinate system, or simply saying the XY plane. Okay, X, Y. All right. So think about it. Here's a dot or a point right here. I wanna express the point in mathematics or just I want to just figure out the coordinate of the point. Okay, then to apply the coordinate into that point, we need to lie that point on the something like number line. Okay, this is a positive direction, here's a negative direction. Okay, and then also we need one more number line right here. Okay, I know most of you guys already know this, but okay, so 2 number lines cross with the right angle. Okay, and then the horizontal number line is called the x-axis. The vertical number line is called the y-axis. Okay, so yeah, so here's then intersection point is called the origin. Okay, and then right there is origin. Oh, sorry, here origin. And then the coordinate of that point on the x-axis is called x-coordinate, and the coordinate of that point on the y-axis is called the y-coordinate. And then we're gonna denote the coordinate, x-coordinate, y-coordinate at this point is like this: comma y. Okay, maybe just here is a 1 and this is maybe 3. Okay, so 1 comma 3. So first number, using the parenthesis and the x comma y. Here x is means the x coordinate. For example, maybe 1. Okay, and then this is a y coordinate. Second number represents a y coordinate. Okay, and then the parenthesis x comma y, and then close the parenthesis. This is blurry. Sorry. Give me a second. Oh yeah. So that is called the order pair. Okay, so for example, yeah, 1 comma 3. This is okay. 1 comma 3 is one of the examples of the x y coordinate or ordered pairs. So what we want to do that yeah, I want to figure out the distance between 2 distinct points. So for example, so right here, this is xy plane, or we can say Cartesian coordinate system. Okay, so right here, just think about 2 points. Okay, so what? 2 points. So let's say the coordinate of this point is x1, y1, and then x2, y2. Okay, so now I'll just connect 2 points. Okay, so let's say this is D. Okay, so this is distance, right? Okay, so what I'm doing is now I'm covering distance formula. Okay, so let me cover distance formula. Okay, so then how can you find out the formula of the distance D? So I'm going to use Pythagorean theorems. Okay, Pythagorean theorems. Yeah, everybody, yeah, you guys know about this, right? So given right triangle, let's say the A is the length of base, and then B is the length of height, and then C is the length of hypotenuse. Then A squared plus B squared is equal to C squared. Right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to draw the two straight line to get the right triangle like this. Okay, right here. And then I'm gonna find out the length of the base and the length of height of this triangle. Okay, but look at this. What is x2? X2 is the x coordinate of the point, this point on the x-axis. So it means this is x2, right? And then that's gonna be x1, right? And then this is gonna be what? y2. Then this is gonna be y1 right here. Okay. So let me use other, maybe other. Let me use highlight. So the length of the base is nothing but what? Distance between x1 and x2 on the number line, right? And then, oh, oh, yeah, give me a second. I cannot find, yeah, so, and then what? The length of height is nothing but y, distance between y and y2 on the number line, right? So, how can you find out the distance between two number on the number line? So for example, so this is a number line here, and then -2 and then 6. What's the distance between -2 and 6? We just subtract the left number from right number, right? So 6 minus -2, that's going to be 8. 8 is the distance between two number, right? So then distance between x1 and x2 going to be x2 minus x1, right? So this is x2 minus x1. Okay. And then distance between y and y2 going to be y2 minus y1, right? Okay. So then we're going to apply the Pythagorean theorems. Okay. So x2 minus x1, x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared is equal to d squared, right? So fine, we got this. D squared is equal to x2 minus x1 square plus y2 minus y1 square. Okay. So, but we want to find out d, not d squared, right? So we take a square root. Okay. So then what happened? The square root and the square cancel them out, right? So keep in mind this. The square root a is nothing but a to the 1/2. Okay. Just keep in mind this. So the square root d squared is nothing but d to the 1/2 to the 2, right? D to the d squared to the half. So what? D, right? So this d is equal to, okay. The right hand side is going to be plus minus. Okay. So now plus minus square root. That's the square root property. So we're going to learn this. But yeah, let me finish this one first. X squared minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Since the d represents distance, must be positive, so we drop the negative sign. Okay, so that's the distance formula. Okay, so please memorize this one. Okay, and then let me tell you why we got the plus and minus sign, because of the square property. We're gonna learn in the next section, but the square property is this: x squared is equal to a. Then if and only if x is equal to plus minus square root a. Okay, it means that for given x squared is a, when you take a is a real number, x is unknown variable. Okay, And then when you take to find out x, or you can say isolate x, taking square root on both sides, the left-hand side is going to be x, right-hand side is going to be plus minus square root a. That is called the square root of property. Okay, square root property. So because of that property, we got the plus minus sign, but the represent distance, it should be positive, so I dropped the negative sign. So so this is distance formula. So let me see examples of that problems, that formula in textbook. Okay. So let's see. Okay. All right. So let me solve example 1 in page 103. Okay. Yeah, example 1 in page 103. So question is plot the points. Three. Yeah, let me share the screen. Okay. So yeah. So so plot the points 3,5, 4, -5, and then -3,4. So -2, -5, and 0,2 in the xy plane. So yeah. So let's see. Yeah, it's not a big deal to figure out the points on the xy plane of these ordered pairs. So, but okay. So here, let me draw. First, we need to draw the Cartesian coordinate system, right? So here, x-axis, y-axis. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here, okay. -1, -2, 3, 4, 5, 6. -1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So 3,5 is here's 3, right? And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 is right there. Okay. So that's going to be the point corresponding to ordered pair 3,5. Okay. And then 4, -5 is 4 is right there, and the -5 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's -5. So that's going to be point corresponding to 4, -5. Okay. So now you know how to plot the points for the given, all the pair given, right? So -3,4 is -3, and then 4 right here, 4. So this is -3,4, and then -5 is -2, and -5 right here. The 0,2. Here's 0 is right there, right? 0,2, 2 is right here. So this is 0,2. Okay. So and the next example, example 2, yeah, find the distance between each pair of points. Okay. So example 2. Okay. So 2 sub questions given. So first sub question is 5, -3, and -1, -6. Okay. So yeah, we can say this is x1, y1, and this is x2, y2. Okay. So x1, y1, x2, y2. Okay. Then d is going to be what? Square root x2 minus x1, which is a -1 minus 5 square, and then plus the y2 minus y1, -6 minus -3 square. Okay. So this is going to be the square root of what? -6 square, which is 36, and then -6 plus 3 is a -3 square, which is 9, right? So this is square root 45. Okay. So the You may need to simplify that numbers, square root numbers. Then you have to do prime factorization. So how can you do prime factorization? Just 45 given. We just try to divide 45 by a prime number. 2. I don't think so. 3. Okay. So 3 divided by 45 is excuse me. 15, right? Here. Okay. And then we try to divide 15 by a prime number. I think 3, right? 5. Okay. So 3 times 3 times 5 is equal to 45. So I express 45 as product of prime numbers. So now then, this can be equal to 3 squared times 5, right? And then I'm gonna separate. I mean, the break up this one as square root of 3 squared times square root 5. Okay, and then square root, square, cancel them out. We got 3 times square root 5. Okay. So now, and then the other one, the other things I wanna mention that is back to the back to the let's see here. Yeah, back to the distance formula. So the order of x1, x2, and y1, y2 doesn't matter. Okay, you can do x1 minus x2 instead of x2 minus x1. You can do y1 minus y2 instead of y2 minus y1 because eventually we're going to take a square. Okay, what does that mean? If you don't get it, let me give you an example. So here, this problem, let me revisit this problem. Okay, so I'm going to change the order. So in here, so d is equal to the square root. Okay. And then instead of -1 minus 5, I'll do 5 minus minus 1. 5 minus minus 1. 5 minus -1 squared. Instead of the -6 minus minus 3, I'll do -3 minus minus 6. Okay, -3 minus -6 squared. What happened? We're gonna get the 5 minus minus 6 minus 1 is 6, right? So 6 squared 36. You see, we're gonna get same number. The only different thing is this. In here, inside the parenthesis, we're gonna get 6, but inside the parenthesis here, we're gonna get -6. But eventually, we're gonna take a square. Sign negative sign gonna be become positive because we're gonna take a square. Because a negative square is a positive, right? Plus, I mean. So, and then 6 squared is 36. Same happening here. So -3 minus minus 6 is what? 3. So 3 squared is 9. So we're gonna get same number, square root 45. So when you memorize the distance formula here, don't just don't literally memorize the all of things. Just memorize that the square root of distance between two x coordinate square plus distance between a y coordinate square. Okay, that must be a lot easier than just memorize x1 x2 things. So that's the example right here of the distance formula. Okay, and then next one, midpoint formula. So back to here. So I want to find out the midpoint between two distinct point. So maybe right here. I don't know, maybe right here. Okay, so midpoint. So since this is a point, right? So it should have x coordinate, y coordinate. I mean ordered pair. Okay, so let me say. Give me a second. What notation did textbook use? Textbook use okay. They didn't use that. Let me say just M. Okay, M. That's the name of the point. Okay, M. So we need to figure out the x coordinate and y coordinate of the midpoint. Okay. Then how can you find out x coordinate, y coordinate, midpoint? So what I'm doing is I'm covering what? The third objective, okay? Midpoint formula, okay? So right there, Now, to find out the midpoint, I'm gonna find out the midpoint between x1 and x2, and then I'm gonna find the midpoint between y1 and y2. Okay, so because the x coordinate of that midpoint is also a midpoint between x1 and x2, and then the y coordinate of the midpoint is also a midpoint between y1 and y2. Okay, so now then here's then this question end up with that question. So in the number line here, let's say here's a b, a and b. Okay, two numbers are there. I want to find the midpoint m. Now how can I find the midpoint m? The m gonna be a plus b divided by 2. Okay, that's the formula of the midpoint on the number line. Okay, as an example. So think about here is I don't know, just 2, and then here's a 6. Okay, so here's a midpoint right there. So what is a midpoint m? It's gonna be can be calculated by 2 plus 6 divided by 2, which is the 4. It makes sense. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 3, 4, 5. This will be the point 4, right? Okay. So I'll apply this formula into each midpoint between x1, x2, and y1, y2. Then the midpoint, the x coordinate, y coordinate, going to be what? X1 plus x2 divided by 2, comma y1 plus y2 divided by 2. Okay. Now then, yeah. So now, yeah, see, it's not a big deal, right? So as long as you know this formula, midpoint between two number on the number line, you apply that formula into each x coordinate, y coordinate, the x axis, y axis, sorry. Then you're gonna get this. But the only thing is this: you have to memorize, or you memorize it and then derive it. Okay. So now, let's see example. So, let's see example 3. Let me see example 3 in textbook, page 105. Example 3. So, find the midpoint of line segment with the given endpoints. Yeah, let's find out midpoint. Let's find out the distance formula as well. Okay, so both find both. So question A. So 5, comma -3, comma -1, comma -6, right there. So first one, D is what? The square root, distance between two x coordinates, square. So 5 minus -1 square plus, I told you, order doesn't matter. Distance between y and y2 square. So -3 minus -6 square. Okay. If the coordinates, the numbers are quite complicated, maybe 5.1 or 1.6, 1/3. Yeah, definitely you have to use calculator. Okay. So you don't have to try to do by hand. So, but this is as simple as integer, right? So let me do by hand. So this is square root of 5 minus -1, which is 6. 6 squared, 36, right? And then 3 minus -3 minus, yeah, I think 3 is square. This is the 9. Because, yeah, I'm sorry. I think I did this one in the previous problem, right? So I didn't notice. So it's square 45. Sorry. So now the m going to be what? Midpoint m. That's going to be x1 plus x2 divided by 2, which is 5 plus -1 divided by 2, comma, the -3 plus -6 divided by 2. Okay, so that's going to be what? 4 over 2, which is 2, and then -9 over 2, which is -4.5, right? Okay, so, all right, so that's going to be, yeah. So this is how to apply the midpoint formula into problems. It's not a big deal, right? So what I did here, so I did the Cartesian coordinate system, yep, and then distance formula, yes, and then midpoint formula, yeah, I did that. Okay, yeah, and then equation of circle, yeah. So I did it a little fast. Wanted to, you know, 1 to 3 these objectives, because this is the main part in 1.3, so quite important and quite difficult. So I'm gonna focus on covering this one. Okay, focus on this topic objective. Okay. So equation of circle. So next one. All right. So think about this. Circle here. Sorry, it looks like potato, but sorry. So the circle is given. How can we define the circle in mathematics? So yeah, definitely circle is, but not only circle, but this definitely circle is a collection of points, right? Infinitely many points, right? See, line is the same. Yeah, line has also the same concept. Lines can be interpreted as what the collection of all the points following some kind of rule. Okay, this is the same thing here. So not just the collection of points arbitrarily collected, kind of gathered, right? No, there is some kind of rule. So what rule here? So for given the center point, let's say this is center point. So we need to figure out the mathematical definition of the circle first, okay? And then we're gonna derive the equation of circle. So center point is given, that's assumption, okay? Excuse me. So now we're gonna collect all the points whose distance between the center point to a point, let's say just x comma y, okay? So let's say this is r. So the equation is the circle is the set of all of points whose distance between the center point and that point is r. Okay. Give me a second. Let me share the screen. Give me a second. Yeah. In the textbook, so you see, let me increase font. Oh yeah, okay, much better. So you see, a circle is a set of all points in a plane that lies a fixed distance. Here, fixed distance means a radius, okay, from a given point that is a center point. Okay, so you see it here. So now, that's the definition of a circle. So, okay, once, yeah, you see, keep in mind this. So now then, using the distance formula, you can figure out the equation of a circle. So for any choice of the point on the circle, when you measure the distance between the point and the center point must be r, right? So the since the center point is given, that's the assumption. So let's say this is h comma k. Okay. So now then, the distance between the point and center point must be r, right? R is equal to then square root and then x minus h square. That's the distance between what? The distance between the x coordinate center point and then x coordinate the point a point on the circle, and then plus y minus k square. Okay. So now then, because I don't like the square root, because we want to get the just x over x squared y and y squared on the right hand side. So I'm gonna take a square on both sides. Take a square. Okay. And then we're gonna get r squared is equal to x minus h squared plus y minus k squared. Right. And then I'm gonna the switch right hand side, left hand side. Then we got the x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared. So this is the standard form of the equation circle. That's the standard form of the equation of circle. Let's say equation of a circle. Okay. So excuse me. Here, when you the problems give that equation, then you need to catch the coordinate order pair of center point and the radius. Okay. So see example. So let's see example 5 in textbook. Okay. So example 5 is this. Sketch the graph of the equation of x minus 1 square plus y plus 2 square is equal to 9. So what you're going to do to plot the graph of the equation of circle, we need to figure out the coordinates, order pair of center point and the radius. Okay, so to figure out the center point and the radius, we need to compare the equation circle given problem with the standard form of the equation circle. Okay, so now then let me copy this one in the bottom of the equation so that we can easily compare those two equations. X minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared. So first on radius, the r squared must 9 must be r squared, right? It means that r equals 3. So radius it must be 3, right? Okay. And then you see x minus 1, x minus h, so h must be 1, right? And the thing is this, y plus 2 and the y minus k, then you may say the k equals 2.
There should be some over there.
Hello? Yeah. But I can hear you. Can you say it again? Hello? Okay. All right, so h equals 1. So now, then you may say the k equals 2, but k is not equals 2 because look at this. This is plus, right? Here's a negative sign right there. So we have to match the sign too. So how can you match the sign? So we're gonna rewrite y minus k, y plus 2 as the y minus minus 2. Okay, because y minus minus 2 is, y minus negative 2 is nothing but y plus 2, right? Now we made a sign between y and 2 to negative sign, so that y minus here, so we match that. That means k equals negative 2. So k is a negative 2. Okay. So the center point is a 1 comma negative 2, and the radius is 3. Okay. So then let me draw the x-axis, y-axis here, and then here's 1 is see negative 2. So it's a center point right here, 1 comma negative 2. Okay. So then what? Since the radius is 3, so let me see. Here's a 1. So the circle must pass that point, right? And then also circle must pass negative 1, negative 2. Circle must pass that point. And then negative 3, negative 4, negative 5 right here. So circle must pass that point, and the 1, 2, 3, 4 is a 4 right here. So circle must pass that point too. So we just connect those 4 points. Okay. So give me a second. Let me find out the problems for this kind of. Let me find out the problem related to this example in the online homework website. Okay. So, a second. 3. Oh yeah, so I found it. Yeah, so can you see that? So here, question is this. This is problem number 7, online homework 1.3. Okay, so find the center and the radius of circle, then graph the circle. All right, so as you can see that we have to rewrite the equation given problem as the standard form of the equation of circle. Okay, so I'm gonna add y plus 2 squared on both sides. Then we're gonna get x squared plus y plus 2 squared on the left hand side, and the right hand side gonna be 9. So radius must be 3, and then center point gonna be 0, comma negative 2. So you didn't get it. Let me back to the sketch paper. Give me a second. Yeah, so stop right here. Give me a second. X squared equal to 9 minus y plus 2 squared. Okay, so it's blurry. So now the x squared is equal to 9 minus y plus 2 squared. So I'll add a y plus 2 squared, okay, plus y plus 2 squared, okay. Then we got the x squared plus y plus 2 squared is equal to 9, okay. So what was standard form? X minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared, right? And r is 3, right? Okay, and then h is what? 0, because x squared is nothing but x minus 0 squared. So h must be 0. And then k is 2. Okay, so the center point is 0, 2, and then r is 3. So
Wouldn't k be negative 2?
Oh yeah, negative 2. Thank you. Yeah, it's y plus 2, right? So negative 2. So now back to the cycle, and then let me click the this one button. Click to enlarge graph. Okay. So we want to plot the circle, right? The circle. I click the circle right here, and the first we point the what? The center point 0, negative 2. Okay. 0, negative 2, and the radius must be 3, right? So here's 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay. Now then, so this is how to plot and enter the answer. I mean graph in the online homework. Okay. So then back to the textbook. Yeah. Okay. So. All right. Now next one. Example 6. From the example 6, radius and center point is given, and then a problem asks you to write the equation of circle in standard form. Okay, so let's see. So in the textbook, example 6, write the standard equation for the circle with the center negative 3, 5 and the passing through 1, 8. So in this case, in this problem, yeah, radius is given. Center point is given, but we gotta find the radius because instead of the radius, a point on the circle is given, right? So how can I find the radius? Yeah, it's not a big deal. So I'll show you how to do it. So first one, the center point is given, right? Negative 3, 5, right? And then a point is given. I don't know. Yeah, let's say here's 1, 8. Maybe 1, 8 is right here, right there. Okay. Maybe right here. Okay, that doesn't matter. So I'm going to use distance formula to find the radius. This is r, right? Because every single point in the cycle, the distance between the point and the center point must be fixed, r, right? So the r going to be what? Square root, and then 1 minus 3 squared plus a minus 5 squared, okay? So that is equal to square root of what? 4 squared is 16, and then 3 squared is 9, so which is 5, right? So now this is square root of 25, but square root of 25 is nothing but 5, right? Square root of 25 is equal to square root 5 squared. This is equal to 5. Okay. So now then what? So yeah, we got radius, right? Because the key point is center point is given, and the appointed point on a circle is given. Then using distance formula, you can find out radius. Okay. So now the question is to write the standard equation, right? So now what? X minus h is 3, right? X minus h is negative 3, so we got x plus 3, right? Square plus y minus 5 square is equal to r square, which is 25, right? Okay, so this is the answer. Now next one, let me see. Okay, let me share the screen. I'm a textbook. So next one, example 7. So look at this. Graph the equation x squared plus 6x plus y squared minus 5y equals negative 1/4. Yeah, that must be equation of a circle. Why? Because x squared and x term, y squared and y terms are involved. So it should be equation circle. But how can you find out radius and circle, radius and center point? So to plot the graph, in order to plot the graph of a circle, we need to figure out center point and radius. But to figure out the center point and radius, we need to rewrite that equation as the standard form. So here's a question: then how can you rewrite the equation given, this one, as the standard form? So to do that, we need to use this one, rule for completing square. Okay, see that here. Okay, so what's the completing square? Let's see, completing square. So completing square, this square means the finding the constant term of a perfect square trinomial. So I know it's really complicated, right? So I'll explain this one in my sketch paper. So think about this. X squared plus 2x plus 1. Okay. So think about this one. This is called trinomial, right? Because how many terms here? 1, 2, 3. 3 terms are given, so trinomial. Okay. But this can be factored as x plus 1 square. Okay. By the way, x plus 1 is binomial because x term and constant terms given that is called binomial. And then binomial square is called perfect square. This is called perfect. Yeah, I think I need to explain a lot of terminologies used in this topic. So, what is a perfect square? Perfect square is a binomial square. Okay. Then any trinomial can be factored as perfect square is called perfect the trinomial. Okay. So a perfect square trinomial or a perfect trinomial, well, either one just fine, but okay. All right. So then, and here's a question. So now then, x squared plus let me see, 8x, okay, plus I want to find out constant term so that this trinomial becomes perfect square trinomial. Okay, so yeah, x squared and plus 8x are given, but and then I want to add a constant term so that this gonna be perfect square trinomial. It means that this can be factored as x plus a number and square, so that we're gonna get perfect square. So then here's the question. So how can you find out this number? Actually, this is what? The half of the square of half of the coefficient of x term, okay, which is 8 over 2 squared. When you add 8 over 2, where 8 comes from? Coefficient of x. And then we do the half of 8 and take a square. If you add that number, then this can be perfect square trinomial, so that this can be factored as simplified as x plus a number square. So that number must be 8 over 2. It's 8 over 2. So let's see if this is right. So x squared plus 8x plus 8 over 2 squared is actually 4 squared, which is 16, right? The right hand side is going to be x plus 4 squared. Let's see if this is right. I'm going to do FOIL on the right hand side. Then we're going to get x squared plus 4x plus 16, which is nothing but this, right? Because 4x plus 4x is just 8x. Okay. So the finding the such a constant term, okay, that is called the completing square. Okay, and then generalize this one is this: x squared plus bx plus b over 2 squared is equal to x plus b over 2 squared. This is called the rule for completing square. This is called rule for square. Okay, so completing square means that, I told you, it means finding the constant term of the perfect square trinomial. Okay, and then when you find the constant term, we use that rule. Okay, yes, one thing you should keep in mind is the coefficient of x squared must be 1. Coefficient of x squared must be 1, okay? So, now, yeah, I know it's complicated, so definitely I'm gonna go over this one next class again. So, but let's see example 7. So example 7, x squared plus 6x plus y squared minus 5y is equal to negative 1/4. Okay. So, excuse me. Now here, see x squared plus 6x. I'm gonna apply the I'm gonna do a complete square. Here for the y squared minus 5y, I'm gonna apply the root of complete square. Okay, so x squared plus 6x plus, we're gonna add what? The square of half of 6, right? Which is a 6 over 2 square. Okay, and then plus y squared minus 5, because we have to, why we have to make these two guys to the perfect square? Because look at the look at the standard form of equation circle. This is a perfect square. That's a perfect square, right? This is a perfect square. So this is a perfect square. So in the standard form, you know, it has two perfect square form, right? That's why we want to make this one to perfect square form. We want to make this one to perfect square form. So then now, excuse me. So now we're gonna add from here. We're gonna add what? Negative 5 over 2 square. Okay, but this is equation, right? There is equal sign right there. So when you do something in the left hand side, we have to do the same thing the other side. Don't forget that property of equalities. So negative 1/4 right here, and then we just add 6 over 2 square, and then negative 5 over 2 square, same thing. Okay, so that's gonna be, then this is gonna be r square. It's gonna be r square, right? And the right hand side is gonna be what? By the rule for completing square, this is nothing but what? X plus 6 over 2 square. Okay, now plus, that's gonna be by the rule for completing square. This is gonna be y plus minus 5 over 2 square. Okay, is equal to r square. Yeah, it's not a big deal to, you know, the add all numbers. You just simply use a calculator. Okay, just use a calculator. So give me a second. So now let me simplify this one. Okay, so now we got x plus 3 squared plus, and then y minus 5/2, or we can say 2.5. Okay, 5/2 is nothing but 2.5, right? Square is equal to, and then r going to be let's see, 15. Okay, already calculate this one, so 15. So what is h? H going to be -3, so that means center point is a -3, 5/2, excuse me, and the radius is going to be square root 15, right? Square root of 15. Okay, so that's for today. So, and then all the I'm going to continue. I'm going to just definitely look at a couple of problems about this one again, and then I'm going to review the rule for completing square these things again next time. Okay, so let me take a roll, and then if you have any questions, just leave a message in discussion board, or just send the email to me. Okay, so give me a second. Oh, yeah. All right, so Hilia. Yeah. Hilia Allen.
I'm here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. So give me a second. Oh, give me a second. All right. See. And then Isaac Anders. Okay. Andrew Barrett. And Andrew Barrett, not here. Okay. Okay, and then Chelsea.
Here.
Yeah. Alex.
Here.
Okay. James.
Here.
And Kayla Fletcher. Kayla Fletcher, not here.
I'm here.
Oh, okay. And then Jaden.
Here.
Oh, yeah, I see. Okay. Faith.
Here.
Okay. And then Andrew Lee.
Here.
Okay. Avery.
Here.
Okay. Eric.
Here.
Devin.
Here.
Okay. Molly Elizabeth.
Here.
Okay. Catherine.
Here.
Okay. Caleb.
Here.
Cindy. Cindy. Cindy not here. Okay. Cindy is the Marcus.
Here.
The Uten.
Here.
Andrew Uten.
Here.
Oh, okay. And then Laura.
Here.
All right. Okay, that's for today. So you guys have any questions? No. All right. So yeah, that's for today. So I'm gonna continue to cover 1.3 and 1.4. Okay. So see you next time. All right. Bye, guys.